Everybody, I'm Pastor Coley Batavia, and this is day 5 of our Advent series. Tomorrow is the feast day of St. Nicholas, and so for today we actually have 2 videos. The first, if you haven't seen it yet, is me talking with some children about how they currently celebrate St. Nick's Day with their families. The second video, which you are watching right now, does come with a parent warning. If you have kids with you, you might want to watch this video by yourself first and then decide how much to share with them. We'll be talking about the history of St. Nick's Day and where the tradition comes from. Tomorrow is the feast day of St. Nicholas. St. Nicholas was a real saint. He was a bishop in a city called Myra in the early 300s. He is known for performing many miracles, but is most famous for his spirit of generosity and gift-giving. In one story, there was a family in the village that had 3 daughters, but were so poor they could not afford for the 3 daughters to be married. This meant that most likely all 3 of them would remain single and have to support themselves the only way they could, which was prostitution. So St. Nicholas heard about this family, and in the middle of the night one night, he crept over and dropped a sack of gold coins in their window. The next night, he did it again, put a second sack of gold coins through the window, and the third night, he brought a third sack of gold coins, 1 sack for each of the daughters, so that they could afford a dowry to get married. This spirit of generosity and gift-giving is invoked in today's practice of St. Nick's Day. It's celebrated still in certain places, though it's kind of pocketed. It's not a celebration that I grew up with when I was a kid. I had never even really heard of it until I moved here to Northeast Wisconsin, but here it is a big part of childhood culture. On the night of December 5th into December 6th, kids hang their stockings or sometimes go with the old tradition of leaving out their shoes. And in the middle of the night, St. Nick visits and brings sometimes chocolate coins or other candy, or leaves fruit or a small toy for the children to find in the morning. Often, St. Nicholas is pictured wearing a long red robe and a red hat, which would have been typical of a bishop's outfit. The Dutch name for St. Nicholas is Sinterklaas, and in New York City in the late 1700s and early 1800s, Sinterklaas morphed into the Santa Claus tradition that most families in the United States practice today. The book "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," with its original title "A Visit from St. Nicholas," often gets credited for solidifying the image that we have in our heads of what Santa Claus looks like. But there were other similar writings and art from the early 1800s that do this too, coming together to give us the image of Santa that today we know and love.